All right, well, welcome. It is YSS Let's Talk Live. We are here every single Thursday night, And the exciting thing is, if you're tuning in right now, you're tuning in live. If Thursday night, 7 p.m., you're tuning in live. And that means we have a comment box. We have a question box. Please, please, please chime in there. Ask some questions. Put in some comments because tonight we have, I say it all the time, but tonight, we do have an all-star panel. My name is Rusty Johnson. I'm a YSS prevention specialist, proud member of the YSS team. We also have a lot of the YSS team with me tonight, and we even have some non-YSS folks, but part of our team and part of our community collaboration. So let me introduce some of these folks to you. And Mary, I want to make sure I get your last name right. It's Mary Sheka?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm an all-star now too.
So you are.
Sheka, I got it right. So we have Mary Sheka. She is the Iowa Mentoring Partnership Director. And we have Kim Weeks, who is our Ballard School Mentoring Facilitator. Kim, welcome to you as well.
Thank you, Rusty.
And I hope you know, do you know you're a legend throughout YSS?
Really?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I remember stories that we'll talk about another time.
Okay.
All good stories.
Oh, good.
Phenomenal person, and your reputation precedes you. So
in YSS and beyond, the legend.
Yeah. Very true. Throughout the entire state, probably the Midwest and even more. So, okay. And then, of course, we have the Sarina Flathers, who is our YSS volunteer coordinator. So Sarina, welcome to you as well.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on.
And I've also got to give Sarina some shout outs because Sarina is part of the committee, the partnership that makes YSS Let's Talk work. So she's been there almost since the beginning and does all of the coordination. So she coordinates with Mary, with Kim, puts together all of the details and makes all of this happen. So finally, Sarina, we get to see you on screen. Usually you're behind the scenes.
Yeah, thank you.
So, okay, now that I've introduced everybody, what we're talking about tonight is mentoring. And it is, and somebody correct me here, this is National Mentoring Month, is that correct? So yeah, National Mentoring Month. And so nationally, but here in Iowa, and especially with YSS, we make such an impact with mentoring and have so many volunteers, so many folks around the table that make all of this possible, so many community partnerships as well. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. But right off the bat, I want to get back to Mary here. And Mary, first off, I said that we have some guests with us that aren't necessarily, official YSS, but our community partners, and you're one of those. So first, can you introduce yourself and talk about what exactly it is that you do, and then after that, if you can talk a little bit about this month I just talked about, that National Mentoring Month, and what that looks like in Iowa.
Sure, great. Thanks so much, Rusty, and thanks, YSS. So glad to join you today. The Iowa Mentoring Partnership is the champion for youth mentoring across Iowa. We are an affiliate of the National Mentoring Partnership, and our role is to advocate for youth mentoring across the state, try to direct resources and mentors towards quality mentoring programs such as YSS. And we provide training and technical assistance support for programs. So we are really proud of our relationship with YSS, as with a lot of the other quality mentoring programs across the state, and really glad to be here and talk about the great work that YSS does in their mentoring program. And because it is National Mentoring Month, I'm glad to have this opportunity to talk to any audience about mentoring. I'll talk about mentoring day and night. Obviously, I believe in the power of mentoring relationships. At its core, guarantees that young people have someone there for them day in and day out, to help them with the challenges that they're dealing with. And National Mentoring Month is just really so important to bring attention to the power of mentoring relationships and these great quality programs across our state. And we do a lot of things throughout the state for Mentoring Month. The governor signs a proclamation and declares it Mentoring Month, and we have a ceremony usually in person at the Capitol. That won't be happening this year, with some of our great matches from across the state. We share that statewide. I know local entities have local proclamations as well, just to raise up, create awareness, and drive, again, resources to mentoring programs. Programs across the state celebrate mentoring matches. We offer, again, certificates of recognition to the mentors from the governor. We, as a partnership, are doing media appearances to drive the interest in mentoring to all kinds of programs across the state. And the month ends, it culminates in the National Mentoring Summit, which is the convening of national of program partners from across the country, usually again in person in Washington, D.C. And it's amazing. It's an amazing conference, but it's even more amazing this year. One of the benefits of pandemic is a virtual world that all of our programs across the state have an easier access to attend that without traveling. So that those are some of the things that we're doing this month to promote mentoring and bring awareness to the power of mentoring.
Yeah, and Mary, I mean, this has to be, I mean, with you as kind of a coordinator and really, you know, kind of overseeing a lot of different stuff. Can I ask, has this been a little bit different or challenging being COVID and being virtual and being, like you just mentioned, 2 events, big events like at the Capitol and the National aren't happening necessarily in person? Has it been a big challenge or?
Yeah, and the biggest challenge, and Kim can tell you as the program coordinator, and Sarina can tell you as a mentor, a volunteer, the biggest program has just been at the local level when the restrictions hit last spring and schools closed, and we had community restrictions different across the state. All programs had to pivot and figure out what they needed to do to continue those relationships. We always say the important thing in a mentoring relationship is just showing up. And when those in-person relationships were abruptly cut off, we knew that we needed to pivot, and folks moved to the virtual world. They moved to pen pal, they moved to Zoom, they found phone numbers they didn't know they had before and kept those connections going, because just showing up for those kids was so important. And if there's anything that we've learned out of this pandemic, I know it's been a huge lesson for all of us, that we know relationships matter so much, because all of us have experienced some isolation, and you compound that with a young person who's struggling with other issues and don't have other supportive relationships, or other supportive relationships, perhaps their teachers they don't have contact with anymore, or other supportive adults in their lives that they've been counting on. Those were all taken away, and our mentoring programs went above and beyond to keep those important connections going for their mentoring matches.
Yeah, and
changes during COVID, just a few changes.
just a few, just 1 or 2. And this is what I just love about hearing from you, and then Sarina and Kim here. You know, we've got this team. We've got this team in place here that can really assess and meet some of those unique obstacles or challenges like you were just talking about, Mary. And, you know, something I recently just found out is that here at YSS, I believe we're celebrating 20 years of matching mentors with mentees. That is pretty darn, 20 years, that's pretty darn impressive there. And Kim works in the Ballard School. Has been a long term advocate of mentoring and mentee, and has done so much work in that. And throughout Boone and Story counties, which is, I believe, where we match those mentors and mentees. Kim, can you tell me just a little bit about the mentoring and the communities, the needs, maybe even a little bit about the process, about how all this happens and the teamwork it takes?
Yes. We started in 1999, actually, and we started with Ballard, Nevada, Ames, and Boone school districts. And from there, we have matched approximately about 7,000 matches during this time. And right now we serve 9 different school districts in Ballard, Story, and Hamilton counties. And that can go anywhere from kindergarten. Ballard, we have kindergarten to 5th grade, and some of the other schools have on up to 8th grade, middle school, mentoring also. And any of the kids, anyone can have a mentor. They just have to go through the referral process, and they may need just another caring adult in their life, you know, due to moving to a new school. You know, the family structure, the dynamics of the family.
Yeah.
We just need a friend. We just need someone else to talk to. So at Ballard, it's just been amazing to see what little time a mentor gives to the relationship and all the benefits that not only the mentor gets, but the mentee receives.
And how much time there, Kim, is it? Can I ask how much time is put in from like a mentor to the mentee, or how does that work?
Like the relationship during school, we have community-based programs, but we also, with the school-based programs, usually it's during their lunch hour. So it was anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. But now with COVID, it's changed. At Ballard, we have no in-school meeting. So my elementary kids, I have 4 that are virtual learners. So they are doing e-mentoring, and the rest are doing pen pal. They're writing letters back and forth.
Wow.
And it's very interesting because I have, I think I have 10 high school mentors who have been with me now, some of them for 3 years. And so we were trying to figure out how we wanted to set that up, you know, because first of all, they didn't even know how to address an envelope, you know, and I need a stamp. Where am I going to get a stamp? So I've talked to the high school, and what they do is they write their letters, take them to the high school, and then the high school secretary gets them sent through the intermail of the schools, and they get to the 2 elementaries. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
And I mean, how much, like, way to take advantage of COVID, if I may say, and actually, like, the skills, like you just talked about, my goodness, the stamps and the postage, and you said pen pal and writing.
And
that's a lost art.
Well, it is. And it's funny because I've been keeping all of my letters for my little guy who's in 4th grade, and I've been with him since 1st grade. And at first, the way he was writing, everything was at a slant, you know. Now it's starting to go across, you know, because I think he's understanding now. And we have reinvented the wheel. We really have.
Yeah.
And Kim, what a nice keepsake for you and for the mentee as well, that they will have this in writing, what that relationship means. I mean, we have to look for the positives in COVID too, that relationships have been strengthened because they've been reinvented too. It's amazing.
It really has. It has.
Well, and so now, and let me ask you kind of a follow-up question here too. I want to make sure I didn't miss it. How are the kids referred?
Oh, okay.
To the program, so or to, and you mentioned also not only community, school-based programs, so like in school during lunch, but people could also, and we'll talk about this later on, but actually get involved through community-based.
Yeah, and I feel that that's very important. I've always felt that our community members need to be involved in our school districts. They need to see what is happening with our youth, what our youth, the challenges are, what's going on at the school. And I've always said, you know, you need to give of yourself in some way. So I have a lot of adult community members who have mentored, always have, even though we are a bedroom community at Ballard. And then also the added plus to that is the high school mentors.
Wow.
Now, how you get referred, you can refer yourself. The kids see, you know, the other kids have a mentor, and, oh, I want a mentor.
Yeah.
Just as easy as that. Or they're referred by their parents, their teacher, the guidance counselor, the guidance counselors at Ballard have been wonderful. All the staff at Ballard is wonderful to work with. And so there's numerous ways that they can be referred, but as easy as, I just want a mentor. They think it's just cool.
And let's just put it out there right now. If folks are listening to this and they're thinking this is a great program, this is something I want to either get involved to be a mentor, or maybe I know a kid in Boone, Story, Hamilton County. Is it as simple as just going to YSS.org?
Yes.
Okay.
Our application is online. You fill the application online. It is received. You put, what school district, if you have a preference, and what age preference, and everything can be done electronically.
And good. And I think we also had a question here that comes up to kind of what we're talking about here, with, qualifications and that. Is there background checks that you run on the mentors, or how does that work? And I know, Sarina, you can jump in here too. And don't worry, Sarina, I'm going to get to you here.
I know you are. I'm just patiently waiting on.
How does this work, Kim?
Well, we do background checks. We do child abuse and criminal background checks, and they are ran through YSS, and so we help with that.
Yeah, yep. We collaborate with DHS, so all of those go through DHS and come back to us. And yeah, so it's a pretty smooth process. But yes, we absolutely do have to do that.
Okay. And is there an age requirement
for mentoring, or?
No, if we have a high school mentor, we like them to be at least 4 years older. Is that correct? Is it 8?
Great.
Yeah.
So
it's older than the mentee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot of options here for folks to get. So you don't even have to necessarily be 30 years old. You don't have to be 35 years old. You can, so definitely. And again, I know if you go to YSS.org, you can find out a lot more information. And like you said, even fill out an application. And Sarina, again, I am coming to you here, but I got to ask Kim something else here, because I heard, Kim, you've been doing 19 years. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
No wonder you're a legend.
I was the first Ballard mentor.
Are you serious?
Yes. And my good friend Jerry Ann McLaughlin helped start the program with YSS, and she had the program for 2 years, and then I became a mentor for her, and then she got a full-time job at the school, so I've had the program since 2001.
Wow. So you're at Ballard still. That's your program, what you and so incredible. And the insight you have and the knowledge you have. And so you've got to have some stories too.
Oh, I have great stories.
Do you mind, is there a story or two you would mind sharing?
Well, sure. I've got a couple of things here. I sat down one day and thought about, what have I learned from my mentees over the years? And here's some. I can still jump on a trampoline. Very seldom do I win a board game against a 7-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what actually means, can I have your attention?
Okay.
Sometimes we need no-brainer time. As school is hard and the mentee can't let everything go with this time.
Mm-hmm.
Play-Doh is important. When asked by the mentee, you go out to recess with them and they ask you to watch me. I used to just sit on a picnic table and watch them. And I realized that sometimes it's the only time they feel watched. And we always needed a to-go box when we go to a restaurant because they take their food home to their siblings. And that I don't, but I could be your grandma. Now you're supposed to laugh about that because they'll always say, "Is she your grandma? Are you 32?" It was always great. And eating in the lunchroom is loud, but sometimes you need to watch your mentee with their peers.
Wow.
And bringing my dog to school makes everyone happy. And probably the last 3 or 4, the hardships that my mentees are experiencing many times I have never experienced, that I can't control what's happening in their lives. But they know I'll be there to listen. And at night when I fall asleep, I know the small amount I have given to them is a difference. And this last one, COVID distances us, but it can never take away the need for a friend or a hug.
Yeah.
I've learned all those things and so many, many things, so many, many more things.
Incredible.
Today, my original mentor, I was with her from 6th grade to high school till she graduated. Her little boy turned 9 today. And I sent her a note today, and she said, "Can you believe I have a 9-year-old?" And it's like, I started with her when she was about 12, and now she has a 13 and a 9-year-old. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And to also know, Kim, that you were a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A whole half hour a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so half an hour a week, and the difference. And of course, you think about going into this, probably the difference you want to instill or to convey in youth and kids' lives.
Mm-hmm.
But like you just shared, the difference it makes in your life.
Exactly right.
I mean, wow. And if you're tuning in right now, we're talking about mentoring. You just heard from Kim, and she talked about the difference that mentoring, of course, she knows the difference she made in kids' lives, but the difference it made on her life as well. And what you just said, Kim, so awesome. I'm probably going to go back and rewatch that myself. If other folks do want to rewatch what we're doing right now, you can go to YSS.org. And all of our YSS Let's Talks are logged there. Share share this. Let's get folks on the table here. And in just a minute here, I'm gonna come around and ask everybody kind of what Kim was talking about. If you wanted to instill some things into people as far as why to become a mentor or what. So I want you to start thinking about that now, because I'm gonna come and ask everybody in a second about what would your words be to get people involved and around the table, a part of this team. Before I do that, Sarina, finally, here I come. Sarina is our volunteer coordinator at YSS. I can't put words. A dynamic, truly wonderful person. And something I did not know when I was reading about you, Sarina, is yes, of course, you do all the volunteer coordination throughout all of YSS, but in the mentorship program, you have personal experience in that as well. And with the mentorship program, do I believe 3 years? Is that right?
Yeah, yep. So, hello everyone. Like Rusty said, I've been a YSS mentor for 3 years. And in the Ames school district. So my mentee is now in 6th grade, which means she's in middle school, which just, 3 years, it's like, it's crazy to think that it's gone by so fast. And so I guess I would just kind of like to share my experience within the program itself, and then a little bit about my relationship with my mentee, and then, like Kim just talked about, just the impact that it makes. And so in both parties' lives, right? And ultimately in the community. So like I said, 3 years ago, my mentee and I met. And one thing about any mentorship program, or ones who are high quality, like the YSS mentoring program, is that the matching process is spot on. I mean, at least it was for me. And so I think that that's the biggest thing is oftentimes people come in and out of our lives. We have those who we consider mentors who make an impact in our lives maybe years ago, and then years later it doesn't click until you're like, oh wow, yes, that's what that person meant in my life, like, or that's what they meant when they said this. Those aha moments. So I often think there are a lot of people who aren't maybe defined a mentor, but who are just mentors, those who encourage others and inspire others and find the best in them and just run with their strengths, and also are there to listen and give advice. And so, like I said, 3 years ago, I met my mentee and we sat down. Barely, because we're both off the wall. That's kind of how we are. We're just super energetic. We both just love people. We see the best in everyone. And that's just our personality types. And the facilitator who matched us because of that. There are other mentor, programs and just different ways to match, but based on skill sets, interests. I mean, you think of workplace mentorships and all those things. But this one was definitely like I am matched based on very similar personality types. So I'm so grateful for that. And so I just love the mentoring program. Definitely highly recommend getting involved in one. And you're not only just matched, like Kim doesn't just match you in Ballard, right? She's there for you as a resource.
That's like support.
Yes, huge support. And I think that that's just, another great aspect of this is not only, right, are we in it for, we're in it for the kids and we're in it to make that impact. And what better way than to do so by giving, having the resources you can, or all the resources you need to do that and do it well. And so they definitely have all the resources. During my 3 years, I went on maternity leave, and it happened to be an extended summer break for my mentee and I. I went straight to my facilitator and I'm like, okay, how do I have this conversation? What can I say? So the program, just being part of that is so, so helpful. And then another benefit I would say to just the experience that I've had, and my mentee and I were talking earlier today, I met with her and she just randomly brought up all of of course, pre-COVID event, going to the Iowa State women's basketball games and having a cone together. I picked her up at her place and we went and did that, and just those fun experiences. We have bingo night that the YSS mentoring team puts together, and we just talked about all of those things, all of those memories today. And it was just good. It's just a nice, like you guys said, a nice 30-minute break to connect with someone, to truly be present in a relationship. And it's just an awesome break in the day. And to know that you're doing good for the community is just, and for this child is incredible, even though it doesn't really feel like it. Like the first question that I had with Kylie or my mentee, I'm sorry, was, hey, what, who needs a mentor? What, I was kind of taken, because I'm like, we're both couldn't be more alike, but also have had such different experiences in our lives. And that's still, it's just so cool, the resiliency that we see in the kids, and it's just incredible. So, well,
and even as adults, I think we need mentors, and we're mentors and mentees, and you can imagine. And Sarina, you touched on a couple of things here real quick. So you said a mentoring, and I was trying to jot down as quick as I could, a mentoring team. We have a mentoring team at YSS that puts together events or puts together special types of things. You mentioned that is cool.
Yes. So the facilitators and the mentoring the manager oversees all of the different programs, school-based programs, including our community-based programs. So she oversees all of those, and they just work together as a team to pull off those events. And they just recently pulled off a virtual event. The first virtual event was a movie night. So that went off without a hitch. So that's great, and more to come, I'm sure, with that type of stuff. So yeah.
In the past, what have some events been? You mentioned movie night, virtual. And Kim, you can jump in here.
Yeah, Kim, go ahead.
Oh, we always do. We used to have, in the first few years, we had a huge dinner and had the Iowa State drum line come in and face painting, and we had some of the athletes come and sign autographs. It was a crazy night. I mean, take buses to get there. And we've had movie nights at different schools. At Ballard, our kids, we've done made turkeys at Thanksgiving for our assisted living facilities. We've played, had pizza and played charades with mentor-mentee night. And bingo is really popular. We play bingo, and last year, unfortunately, we didn't get to have our 20th anniversary because of COVID, but we were going to have we were going to have a full meal and play bingo and recognize people. And yeah, we just do some fun, easy, simple things.
And it's, and Kim, again, you mentioned the 20 years, and congratulations on that. And congratulations for being around, Kim, for 20 years and creating this program and really driving it and working on it. And then you have the new young blood like me and Sarina and Mary. I'm throwing you in there too. The new young.
My.
Yes. But we are a team. We are a team, and we have, when I have questions from the mentors, I try to direct them and to help them. And if I can't, I can go to Felicia, my leader, as I call her.
Yeah.
And all the resources that YSS provides, we're able to direct on. And that is so important. And then working even within your schools. But yeah.
And
I'd like to add the point too. You're talking about these really heartwarming, your narratives, the great impact that mentoring relationships have on the mentors and the mentees. But we know that we have a lot of quantitative research too that confirms that quality mentoring relationships have powerful effects on young people in academics and professional and personal areas. And I know that YSS is a quality program. They collect all kinds of evaluations and all kinds of data that, that really shows the impact that it's making. And I always like to say that mentoring is not just this nice thing that we do, it's essential to support young people in this way.
Well, and Mary, right where you were just going there, I think we have a question kind of along the lines of this. Mason says he's a huge fan of what YSS is doing in the community. And again, right where you were talking, how does YSS keep track of the students and the progress during and after the program? And Mary, I'm sure this is something you kind of watch too, to want to see and to look after. So I'm going to toss this to any of you here. Sarina, Kim, Mary, what's this process like? And how do we do this throughout the years?
Well, since pretty much the beginning, we conduct before and after surveys for the youth, for the parents, for the teachers, for administrators or school personnel. And YSS has had all this information compiled so we can go back for 10 years and see, our growths or where we have plateaued. And it's great to have that information.
Yeah, so generally programs do evaluations based on the goals of their program, and they're evaluating the impact as we talked about, that they're making on the young people that they're serving. But also, I know it's really important to all programs too, they survey about quality of the relationship, so that they're looking that they have a strong relationship that can in turn make that impact on young people.
Yeah, and I would just say it's so challenging when we do talk about, we want to see this. We often, and it's like, now we want to see results yesterday, right? Like we want to see things now. And I think that that's kind of the beauty of a mentor relationship. Like I was saying, people just come into our lives and out and make that positive impact. And it might not click till, years down the road. And I think that's something too that we have to, while, while we may not drastically change, or the kid, we may not see a drastic, significant change in the child ourselves, we know that we're making that difference. We're bridging that gap in whatever that gap is in their lives, and adding that inspiration and adding the encouragement that every single one of us needs. And like you say, Rusty, it takes a village. It takes a village. Cannot be, it takes a village, and that's what this is all about.
Yes, you stole my line, Sarina. That's the line I use every YSS Let's Talk. It takes a village, and this is another prime example of that village that I keep preaching and I keep talking about, and why I'm so, honestly, why I'm so happy to be a part of YSS, because in literally any of our programs, it's a village effort, and especially you can see in this mentoring program. And again, if you're tuning in right now, we're talking about mentoring and ways you can be involved in mentoring. We've had some great questions. We are live right now, so 7 p.m. this Thursday. On what date is it? The 7th of January. By the way, Happy New Year to y'all. And if you're tuning in, please feel free to ask a question or put a comment. But I want to ask another question to our panel here of great folks, and I guess my question would be kind of circling back from what I asked you to think about earlier in today's segment, all right? About what would you leave with some people thinking about becoming mentors? What would you perhaps share with them or encourage them, to consider becoming mentors? And you said something to me that hit me, that if I was going to become a mentor, I don't want to be all alone. And let me explain that. If I was to go into Ballard or Ames school and become a mentor, I would want support, and I would want kind of, and Kim, you were talking about 19 years or 20 years that we have of working kinks out, working and getting this refined. And then Sarina was talking about this team effort and the support that comes around the table that I would be provided as a mentor. So not only mentor meetings and groups and that kind of stuff, but also kind of, I don't want to call it counseling, but kind of somebody I could call and say, hey, I have this issue. And sorry if I took any of the things you guys did there, but to me, that would be pretty darn important, and that's something that really stood out with me about, so what about you guys? What would you tell people looking to become mentors?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna go here. So those who don't know, we have Matt behind the scenes with us. Sorry, Matt, I'm calling you out. He's working everything behind the scenes. And he and I actually used to mentor at the same time. So we're both work for YSS, and so we were fortunate to be able to just carpool together over our lunch, and it was a way for us to connect, right? And then so that relationship also grew due to us both having our mentees in that relationship. So little things like that. And you guys, I think what I would say is, we're in a world that just talks and types and not, take action, do it. Just just do it because it will be good, and you have what it takes to encourage someone else. And if you don't see it within yourself, becoming a mentor, you definitely will. You will find that part of yourself, and you will grow. And like I said, you'll bridge the gap, and who knows how many lives down the road, because you chose to act and to impact your community. So just fill out that application. If you're from a different state, reach out, type in mentoring in your state, and then Google it, and figure it out. Just do it. Just do it. 30 minutes a day, whatever. It's so worth it, you guys.
The impact.
Well, and one thing that I have noticed, it's changed with COVID, has made everything change. But at the same time, you can have video chats. You can do e-mentoring. You can do pen pal mentoring. You can do phone calls. And for like our community at Ballard, where we really are a bedroom community where a lot of people are not around for the lunch hour, this provides other options to be a mentor, because, anyone can be, can type on their email, you could become an email mentoring partnership, having a relationship with email, or using Zoom, or just the good old fashioned pen pal like I'm experiencing. So not only are you limited now to just the in school, which we had, there was problems with trying to recruit mentors because of the limitations of the lunchtime.
Yeah.
And we monitor, that's another thing. We monitor the Zoom. We monitor the emails. We monitor the letters. So everyone is still protected.
Okay. So that's a safety.
That's a
huge relief.
The facilitator is coordinating and facilitating and monitoring all of any of the correspondence.
Yeah. And so thank you for bringing that up, because that's also something that I'm sure, can provide relief to folks too, and to know, especially in the world that we live in right now. And again, it's only 20 years of time that we've had to work this all out and to get it down to a well-greased, wonderful, productive wheel. And Mary, what about you? What would you say to folks?
Piggyback a little bit up, but what Sarina's touched on a couple of times. I encourage folks to really think about who mentored you and who helped you get where you are today. And likely you were not in a formal mentoring program, because if you're like me, you're fortunate enough to have an opportunity to make those connections through, your community. But some young people need help making those connections. Ultimately it opens up social and economic opportunities to young people. And we know that all young people have potential. Potential is equally distributed. Unfortunately, opportunity is not. So you can offer that opportunity to young people to make those connections.
Yeah, great. Well, and there you have it. Again, tuning in. If you're tuning in right now, it is YSS Let's Talk, and we're wrapping up here. But we've been talking about mentoring. This entire segment at 7 p.m. You can catch this on just going to YSS.org, and you can watch the video recording of this. Do something. Share this. Get the word out there about becoming a mentor, really making a difference, as we've heard Sarina and Kim and Mary talk about, in the kids and the youth's life, but make a difference in your life too. And my goodness, the stories, we could go on and on and on and on. This is incredible. But Kim, I want to ask you kind of a final question here. I understand that in Ballard, and I'm reading here, we have 35 youth waiting for a mentor, and the list continues to grow.
That
More
is
youth are referred.
Yeah, that's just not at Ballard. That is the other school. Yeah.
So we still have 35 youth waiting for a mentor. Is that right?
Yes, we do. And actually, that's a very low number. that's a very low number, but that is within our nine schools. We have 35 kids on our wait list waiting for a mentor. So we need you.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is not just a, so, like you said, we need you, and the kids need you. And I don't want to go too far here, but their future needs you. And, because again, and Mary, like you said, think about your mentor, whoever that was in your life. Was it a teacher? Was it a janitor? Was it a neighbor? Was it a what? And you have the opportunity to do that now with kind of a team mentality around you. I mean, and with years of experience with the YSS team, helping protect you, helping protect the youth, and even creating fun events like movie nights. And what'd you say, bingo, Kim?
Bingo.
For all ages. Bingo's for all ages. So that, that's incredible. So I have some comments here real quick that I want to get to. And Matt, I'm just going to, because Matt is our wizard behind the curtain, as Sarina said. So we talk to Matt all the time. Matt, throw up some of these comments here, because I tell you what, there we go. Of course, that's the first comment. That is awesome. He is off of the charts. Andrew here talks about Mary, a rocking mentor and also rocking volunteer role on the YSS IHYC advisory board in Des Moines. I didn't know that, Mary. You're on the IHYC advisory board.
Oh, long time connections with all the good work YSS does.
Yeah, our Iowa Homeless Youth Center. That is great. And Jackie loved the statement, Mary. Let's provide the opportunity. And boy, there is so much opportunity out there for so many people. Again, if you're tuning in, you're watching this, roll all the way back to the beginning. Figure out all of the opportunities here, and then go to YSS.org. I think Sarina was talking, there's an application there that you can fill out.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of videos too that are on the website now. If you scroll down a little, there'll be like a YSS mentoring overview video you can watch. And then also these two videos are on that website page, I know. So also you can go there as well. But great resources to really understand the program a little bit more, if you haven't learned enough.
Yeah.
And it's a new year. It's a great time when people are making resolutions and thinking about how they want to spend their time, and who doesn't want 2021 to be better than 2020?
Right.
And what better way than making this great connection with the young person?
Yes.
Yep.
And so many more options now.
Yeah, and you're right. And take it, I mean, I don't want to say take advantage of COVID, but kind of in essence do. I mean, like you said, Kim, so many more options. And even if you're somebody who likes to kind of stay at home, you could still, like you say, take advantage of the Zoom, take advantage of the pen pal, and who knows, with 20 years of experience we've already had, what we'll learn from this and grow on this. And new stuff will come out of our mentoring program. Maybe new stuff will even come out of the mentoring program because of the new people who jump on board because of watching Sarina, Kim, and Mary tonight, and being inspired by you all. One great comment that I want to bring up is from Andrew Allen, who says 35 youth waiting for a mentor is simply unacceptable. Even one is unacceptable. And we just talked about that right now in the areas that we serve, we have 35, and Kim said that that's even a conservative number. So 35 youth, and each youth is matched, I assume, with one mentor, correct?
Normally we also go male, female.
Okay.
But I have mentored many boys, many young men, and we get parent permission with that. And once again, like Sarina said, it's all about the connection. It's all about your personalities. These kids, they just want another friend. They just want someone in their life, and that's what's most important, is being there for them. And that's the thing, after all these years that I've done this is my first year that I can't go to school. And I miss those kids. I miss them coming to me in the lunchroom. Where's my mentor? Is my mentor coming today? Can you get me a mentor? You know, and I did see my little guy with my mask and my hat, and I surprised him. And the first thing he said to me was, "Can you give me a hug?" And I said, "I'd love to give you a hug, but I can't right now." And it's been eye-opening to to me after all these years of being able to have those questions and that excitement.
Yeah.
It isn't there this year.
Wow.
But we're overcoming it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's not going to conquer us. It's not going to define us.
And so many exciting things yet to come. So many exciting things yet to come. It's a new year. It is a chance for new people to jump on board and get involved. And for all of those that have been involved, Mary and Sarina and Kim, on behalf of y'all, can I thank them?
You can.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know what to say, but I mean, how many people have been involved in this program that have been mentors who have changed and impacted the lives of countless youth. I mean, that's incredible. And with them, or without them, I don't even know what I'm trying to say besides thank you to them.
That's exactly right.
I mean, and they are a part of this village and a part of this team. And so thank you to all of them. Thank you to all of the folks, again, that are going to jump on board and that are going to become a part of this. I know I'm starting to get shameless now, so we need to wrap this up. But because it's exciting, and we need folks to get on board here. We need you to be a part of this. And how, my goodness, you heard everything tonight about, be it a community. You can become just a community mentor and be, there's various programs there. In school-based program mentorship, you can become a part of that. What did you say, 30 minutes? 30 minutes out of your week or whatnot. That's all the time that it takes. It's not a huge time commitment. The support that you will receive by becoming a mentor, all of this, you can find out at www.yss.org. Go there, check it out. And hey, if you have some more questions, Sarina and Kim, who do they reach out to? Who do they call?
Yeah, they can connect with me or, of course, any of the facilitators. Just go to our website, to that mentoring page, yss.org, and then /mentoring, and you will find, what's up right there. You'll find the connections there, but feel free to reach out.
All right.
We're here.
And this, again, it could not be better. We're starting a new year. And with this first month of the new year, it is National Mentor Month. It is, and so what better time to jump on board and become a part of this? And again, you got a place like YSS, the experts right here that can help help guide you, and they'll kind of help be your mentoring. If it works out. So again, I want to give a huge thanks to Mary Sheka, our Iowa Mentoring Partnership Director. And then we have Kim Weeks, Ballard School's Mentoring Facilitator. And of course, Sarina Flathers, our YSS Volunteer Coordinator. Y'all, thank you so much. This has been a phenomenal YSS Let's Talk. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Rusty.
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Mary.
Yes, thanks, Mary.
All right, well, my name is Rusty Johnson, a YSS Prevention Specialist, and we are here every single Thursday night, 7 p.m. Oh, get ready. Next Thursday night. This is exciting. Please advertise this, get this out here. We're going to be talking about human trafficking prevention. It's Human Trafficking Prevention Month, so we're going to be kind of talking about that. But the panel, the guests, is what I'm so excited about. Ruth Buckles, our YSS Community Prevention Program Managers, is going to be on. And if you've ever heard Ruth speak or talk, you know who I'm talking about. She's renowned throughout the entire country, especially with human trafficking and her advocacy and her work then. And we also have a very, very, very special guest, Heather Brown, a survivor of human trafficking and an advocate. So she will be here to talk to us. So please tune in, share this, get the word out there so that we can have a lot of folks jump on board with this and be a part of this. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Sarina, Kim, Mary, thank you for what you do. Truly, truly wonderful. Appreciate you all. And to everybody watching, thank you. Make sure you share this video. And until next Thursday, well, have a good night, and we'll see you on the next YSS Let's Talk.